But if that continues, we'll go to 98,000 in November already and 135,000 Bitcoin in December. So that will be a very nice Christmas this year if that comes true.
Is the price of Bitcoin going to 135K and then on to $1 million according to the stock to flow Bitcoin model? Let's go. Hi, welcome back to Art of Marketing Blog, a place where we talk about making money online, working from home, and cryptocurrency. And this is my stock to flow Bitcoin model explained for you, okay? So this is the Bitcoin stock to flow prediction for 2021 and also for the years to come. So as you saw in the intro, we should be hitting 135K still this year, and then we are on to $1 million. But why is this even a prediction, and how does the stock to flow model work? Who is Plan B, the guy that invented it? All the questions will be answered right here in this video. Before we start, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, click on the bell, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. Actually, give me your Bitcoin price prediction for December 2021 in the comment right now. Also, check out all the links in the description of this video. And right now, let me share my screen and let's jump into this stock to flow Bitcoin model explanation. So first of all, let me just tell you that this model was invented by Plan B, who is an analyst from Holland. Okay, so you can follow him on Twitter at 100 trillion USD.
Yeah, so I'm in traditional finance for the last 25 years. I started in dealing rooms and moved my way up to bank balance sheets, insurance balance sheets, and managing pension balance sheets, mainly in structured finance or risk management functions, or in the investment offices of those firms. So yeah, I've seen a lot in the last 25 years, but one of the most interesting things I came across was Bitcoin, and for me that was 2013 that I first read the white paper. I was hooked from the start.
Definitely follow him because he shares a lot of interesting things, not only about Bitcoin, but crypto in general. And this is his prediction, okay? So he came up with this model. And as you can see, since Bitcoin was invented back in 2008, it is pretty much on point. And it tells us that we should be hitting 135K still this year. So will we actually reach these levels? And are we going to $1 million in 2025? These are the questions that I will answer in this video. So actually, let me show you a quick clip from Rand Paul. He explains exactly how the stock to flow model works. Check it out.
He just said, okay, well, usually rare assets have a stock to flow, which means their valuation is based on how much new supply can come on versus the total supply. Now, Bitcoin, if you think about it, it's 21 million Bitcoins. So by the time you're at 18 million Bitcoins, you've only got 3 million left to come, and they come at a certain rate. So that's the stock that's also above ground now, or that has been mined. And then the flow is what comes on top. So it's a decreasing amount versus the total amount. And that makes it rare. And that's the same attribute that gold has. And it actually is the same attribute silver has, diamonds have, and certain other assets. So his idea was to prove it mathematically. So he looked at it and said, okay, if I put it in statistical analysis, I can look to prove that this is the case. And that's what he did in his work. He proved that it basically follows this linear path of price appreciation based around its rarity. Now, it assumes there's an amount of demand for it, because you can have a rare asset with no demand, in which case it doesn't work. But if you've got a relatively steady demand for something, or an increasing demand, what you get is a price that moves in a linear fashion according to its stock to flow. So when stock becomes a much larger part of the flow, it tends to appreciate in price. And when he put all assets on this, what he found is that Bitcoin was kind of the rarest of all, because as you get towards that 21 million, you end up with no flow at all. So also what's interesting and unique about Bitcoin is the fact that within the algorithm is a way of throttling back new supply. So in mining, how that tends to happen is it's driven by cost. So mining of gold, it's driven by cost and technology, and also the boom bust cycle of commodities. So when the gold price goes up a lot of people go in, they mine more of it, and the price drops. But with Bitcoin, you can't do that because of how it's actually physically limited in supply by the mathematical formula that's underlying it. So it has a very, very unique thing. And when I saw him write about it, it was just like, wow, yeah, incredible to understand what makes it so rare. And there's a fantastic book, if anybody's on the journey of going down the rabbit hole of understanding this, called The Bitcoin Standard by Safety and Amos, who's also speaking at the Real Vision Crypto Gathering event. That tells you and shows you the relationship that hard assets have for value and why humans value certain things that wouldn't ordinarily have a value. There's no real reason a shiny gold metal has value. Yes, in the element, of all of the elements, it is one of the rarest and also one of the most durable, and it can never be destroyed. So there's some certain elements, but humans attach value to those things because it allows us to store value and transfer value and devise things into smaller increments. So that's the system of money. And that's what Bitcoin slots into a new version of digital money.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this Rand Paul explanation. And right now, let me give you some more information. I found this article on academy.binance.com, and as you can see, this is the Bitcoin and stock to flow model. So in a nutshell, the stock to flow model can be applied to anything, not just Bitcoin, but stuff like gold, anything that can be sold. But stock to flow and Bitcoin, as you can see, really makes sense with the stock to flow model because there's a limited supply of 21 million coins. Now check this out. What is the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin? The current circulating supply of Bitcoin is apparently 18 million, which means that only 3 million Bitcoins are left to mine, and while the new supply is approximately 0.7 million per year. So there's also a limitation of the stock to flow model, and it says while stock to flow is an interesting model for measuring scarcity, it doesn't account for all parts of the picture. Models are only as strong as their assumptions. For one thing, stock to flow relies on the assumption that scarcity as measured by the model should drive the value. So this means that if people won't be interested in Bitcoin, this whole model doesn't work. But we all know that the scarcity is only increasing because all the big banks, all the big money, all the smart money is going and investing into Bitcoin. So that's why more and more people invest into Bitcoin. There's less and less of Bitcoin available and the supply is limited. So I don't think this will be an issue. Now, let me actually show you a few articles. I found this article from independent.co.uk. It says Bitcoin price prediction model remains amazingly accurate with less than 1% error and forecasts record end to 2021. So again, this model is not perfect, but so far it worked perfectly with less than 1% error. So we can hope that it will continue to work perfectly with less than 1% error, at least until the end of this year, maybe for the next 4 to 5 years. So that's independent.co.uk. I also have Forbes.com, demystifying Bitcoin's remarkably accurate price prediction model, stock to flow. So I'm not going to be explaining how it works, but as you can see, it says the top question on everyone's mind when it comes to Bitcoin is what the price will be in the next 2 to 5 years, even in the next 2 to 5 months. Unfortunately, there is no universally accepted route to making such an assessment. Some investors prefer a more fundamental approach where they evaluate macro trends to identify future performance. Such variables could include the ongoing shift to electronic payments, as well as inflationary spending by central banks in response to the economic destruction brought by the pandemic. Fundamental analysis also go to great lengths to assess an asset's intrinsic value, meaning the properties that make it unique and valuable. A great deal of effort has been spent to define Bitcoin's intrinsic value, which is derived from a combination of its capped supply, again 21 million, network security, divisibility, Bitcoin can be broken down into 8 decimal points, and transportability. And again, they talk about how it works. We already covered all of that, but I just wanted to tell you that Forbes are positive on the stock to flow Bitcoin model as well. I found another article on AsiaMarkets.com, Bitcoin price to 135k within weeks, says proven analyst. So again, they talk about Plan B, a former institutional investor with 25 years of experience, says that the Bitcoin price will skyrocket to $135,000 by the end of 2021 before an eventual crash. So the Plan B's module, we already know it's the stock to flow module, end of year prediction says that we will hit $98,000 in November, $135 in December. And then the question is, will the Bitcoin price crash again? And the answer is, what goes up must come down. Plan B thinks that the bull run, like those before it, will end with a significant price crash at up to 80%. So if we will reach 100K, we will go back down to 20K. So definitely make sure to sell high and buy low. This is asiamarkets.com, and I also found an article from finance.yahoo.com. Stock to flow analysis, worst case scenario could see 135K BTC by December. So another article explaining all of this now. The best case scenario sees 450K BTC, so absolutely crazy. Again, 135K is the worst case scenario. Another price prediction is that we can reach 288,000. So take all of this with a grain of salt, but I think that we will definitely reach 100K because so many people are talking about 100K still this year. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Will we hit 135K? I hope so. I hope we will reach 450K. But with that being said, this is my video on the stock to flow Bitcoin model for you guys. I hope I shared all the resources so you can understand how it works, what's the idea behind it, and I hope you hold some Bitcoin and that you will sell it when we will be reaching the highs. Before you go, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and leave me a comment. Also, check out all the links in the description of this video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment as well. Check out all the rest of the videos on this channel. As always, this channel is about making money online, working from home, and cryptocurrency. See you in the next video. Ciao.